Hey family, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Cut Nice 50. If you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Today we're going over a video I just watched with Nick Trigilli from Bodybuilding and BS, he was kicked off YouTube, but now I think he's allowed back on, and he has a new channel called Bodybuilding and FH. I don't know what the FH is about, but a guy sent me this video about it, and he was talking about the True Podcast with Honey Run Boy, episode 83, who had Fuad Hostile Abidad on it. I did a video about the two athletes he had, Justin Epler and Nathan Spear, I believe, who had left Hostile pretty much around the same time. Even though it was a week apart, they both decided to leave the company and go for there. But I watched the whole True Podcast, episode 83. I watched Nick Trigilli's video, and I guess it's up to perception. Nick, from his perception, he thought Fuad was pretty much talking bad about Justin, Fuad says they are friends and obligations or whatever the case, but Justin came out and told him, hey, that he wasn't happy with the company, and he wanted to, try something different and things of that nature, because he does have different businesses and things like that. So I put this insert in there. Share your thoughts. So y'all gonna see me interjecting in things of that nature, and go from there. But make sure you comment below. Let me know what you think.
And speaking of sponsorship, big talk this last couple of days, man. I'm not gonna, hold back here. Yeah. You had a couple of competitors that you sponsor, and Justin and Nate, and you just made an announcement on social media a couple of days ago about it, about their parting, and there has been some talk about, like, hey, you brought in quite a bit of athletes that come in, come out. I mean, specifically about this situation, is it kind of in line with everything else, or were these two outliers? And is there a reason why they both happen at the same time?
So they're both a little different.
Okay.
Nate's contract came to an end.
Okay.
I don't like to get into too much detail on this stuff, but I won't go too far into it. I guess what I'll say is, Nate.
All right, before I go ahead and get started, like I said, I just want to add this insert in right here because my guy Nick Trigilli did another video. He got a new channel on YouTube. I guess they let him back on after they canceled his Bodybuilding and BS channel. So finally, I think he's back on YouTube as Bodybuilding at FH. I don't know what the FH stand for, but he did a video about, I guess, Fuad and this episode right here, and pretty much that he was bashing my guy Justin Shear. Now, I watched the video already. I just want to go ahead and do my reaction, interject a little bit. But I personally didn't see Fuad throwing trash or shades at no athlete, none of his old competitors or anybody in it. He just stated it from a business standpoint, what he looks for in the athlete, their obligations, contract-wise, and things of that nature. Because I'm a business owner myself, I also was a sponsored athlete. I do know that if a company lays out whatever the case may be, this is what you're expected to do, and you should do it. I mean, you're getting paid to do it and stuff like that. I never got paid as an athlete, as these guys are already getting paid because they get guaranteed contracts. And just to say, these guys they didn't win a pro show yet. They haven't pretty much did nothing in the bodybuilding scene. So this is Fuad taking a chance on athletes just because based on their potential and the love for the sport. He's doing that thing. So I give him all the command. I give him all the props in the world for running his business the way that he wants to run it, and actually helping bodybuilding industry and these athletes make a living even before they establish their name in the bodybuilding scene. Outside the bodybuilding scene, that's a different issue. They both, I guess, great athletes. Most of his old athletes who's no longer with him. But as far as this situation right here, Nick was saying that he was bashing Justin Shear, but I didn't see it. But I want y'all to share your thoughts. If you think he bashed him or pointed out us anything that's unobvious to me, maybe I'm biased because I do like Fuad. I am a business owner. I was an athlete myself, and I'm still in the bodybuilding scene, but I'm not sponsored by any of these companies and stuff like that. I have my own things going on. But just share your thoughts and comment and let me know. Let's continue. My guy Nick Trigilli, man, I don't know what's going on with him. Hopefully he doesn't ruffle too many feathers out there. But like I say, I don't believe in censoring nobody. I do believe in speaking your mind, but our perceptions is always different. Our channel, we're over here, we're about positivity, we're about building up the community, we're about expanding bodybuilding, health, fitness, nutrition, and inspiration, motivation. That's our background. We don't participate in negativity. So I watched the video. I just wanted to make sure, and I know Fuad. Like I said, he did coach me before way back, and even in this episode, he told why he stopped really coaching, because he's not really a coach. He did it for a little while, but he didn't feel like he had the ability to give the athletes what these other great coaches would give them, which is time. Especially when you're trying to start up a podcast, you want to start your company, because he didn't have his company yet and things of that nature. So, of course, when you have multiple businesses, just like my guy Justin Shear, you're not going to be able to put forth all your effort to a certain thing. He was an athlete for Hostile, multiple businesses, different avenues of income that he has coming in. So, of course, he wasn't going to give Fuad what he needs, because Fuad does require a lot from athletes, as well as he should, because it's his business. He can run it however he wants to. These guys are getting guaranteed contracts, and they're getting paid pretty well. So I agree with both of them, and I can see both points of view. But share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Watch these videos. The link will be in the description below for the True Podcast, episode 83 with Fuad Abidad Haas Abidad. Let me know what y'all think about that. I myself, this is just my perception. Maybe I'm biased because I like Fuad. I am a business owner, and I like Hani, but Hani's on board too. He's agreed. All these guys, we're all old school, so we agree with both.
Contract had 2 years on it.
Okay.
Or actually, it was a 1 year. We signed him. He wasn't being paid by anybody. He was just kind of out there. So I'm like, come on board. We'll pay you. You know, took him on. First year went by. Everything was good. Second year came around. I'm like, okay, maybe we should make some changes to the team. So I'm like, I told Ben is our athlete manager.
Mm-hmm.
I said to Ben
Pekulski?
yeah, he works for me now. Breaking news.
I had to throw that in. I'm sorry. Just because you're like that. You're like, now he works for me. The guy that told me I had a green tan, he works for me now.
No, Ben Chow.
Okay.
So I said to Ben, look, he's got like a month and a half left on his contract. Maybe you should let him know now.
Okay.
Because, I want him to be able to find another sponsor and, get along, just move along and be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we let him know. He wasn't very happy about it, but I was like, look, it's just business. It's numbers. It's not personal. We love you. Everything you've done for us is great. We just kind of have to shrink the team a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it. It was kind of the thing, right? And then Justin happened like a week after. Justin kind of let me know kind of a week after that he just wasn't happy. So when Justin told me, I was like, okay, well, that opens up a little bit of money in the budget. So I called Nate back and I said, are you interested in staying on? We have a little bit of room in the budget. And Nate said, no, I think I'm going to move on. And I said, okay.
Yeah. Now, just interjecting right there, man. If a company do come to you, hey, budget wise, they don't have the money. At least they was honest. I agree with it. But when it comes to situations like this, your pride can get the best of you. You've seen many athletes, they leave a company, then they come back or whatever the case, they can't find better deals. And then they realize that the grass is not green on the other side. So they come back. At least Fuad called them back, hey, now we have a situation. But if money is money, you got to budget for a reason. You can't keep everybody that you want on. So I commend him on that part. But as an athlete, I don't know the Nate Epler guy, whatever the case may be, but it is probably hurting him because he was hurt. Hey, you just told me that you didn't want me on, so I respect that issue right there. And if he doesn't have find a better deal or anything else like that coming up, because he hasn't really competed, I think he's gonna probably hopefully compete this year. Who knows if he's gonna sign with a sponsor, whatever the case may be. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did go back to Hostile sooner or later if he tests the water and he doesn't get a deal. Because, like you said before, Fuad said everything he did was on point. He did everything, every obligation, every video, whatever the case, he did a good job. The numbers probably, when it comes to numbers, sales, people don't know him because I really didn't know the guy. I know he was a 212 competitor. I guess he's going to open but I don't personally know anything about the Nate Epler guy, except from the podcast and stuff like that. And that's all thanks to Fuad. But if he wasn't on the podcast and Fuad didn't talk to him or share any videos on any of his commercials or social media, I wouldn't know nothing about the guy. So it's just a give and take, man. You know, you run a business, you try to do it to the best of your abilities. You want to give athletes a new platform to speak, engage, but you also want to grow your company. So it's just a balancing act. You still got to put your best foot forward when these companies take a chance on you. It's not just hope your name is gonna make everybody buy supplements and stuff like that. That's a whole different persona. Social media is one thing when it comes to you having 1 million followers or whatever the case, but 1 million followers is not buying 1 million products from you. That's just the case. Half of them might be fans, half of them might be bodybuilders or fitness athletes, but generally we are creatures of habit. I take many supplements. I don't use pretty much every company out there. I don't try the supplements, but I always kind of stick with the same thing for years. Now I'm vegan, so that's a different story. But my protein, sometimes creatine. I ain't big on creatine too much just because you know, the water retention, the loading phase. And there's all supplements and got better as the years went by. But that wasn't the case back then. And powerlifting, I loved it because more water retention, greater strength, more lubricated joints, all that stuff like that I use. But generally, you're gonna have your proteins, you're gonna have your pre-workouts, you're gonna have your intra workouts. Wasn't big back then, but you're gonna have your aminos, your essential aminos, and things of that nature. So you're gonna take the same supplements that you're normally always doing, or the big brands you're gonna use. There's plenty of smaller brands out there you never heard of. So I base my supplements that I take now on clean proteins. Different companies I research. I like clean proteins because I can make smoothies, shakes, or whatever the case may be. And I go from there. I don't like proprietary blends. I like all my labels to be transparent, and I go from there, man. So I commend Fuad for just doing this. But we're gonna go ahead and continue.
So that's fine. So Nate, his contract basically ended, and that was you know, us kind of letting him do his own thing. With Justin, you know, we have a lot of obligations. If you want to be a hostile athlete, we have a lot of work. Like, you have to do YouTube videos, you have to post on social media, you have to come to events, you have to stand at a booth. I'm old school, man. Look, like, I don't know the way companies are doing things now. You have a company, you know, I don't know how you do things at Evogen with your athletes. I was an athlete. I remember doing videos for Flex Online for free.
Yeah.
And I did them week after week after week leading up to the Flex Pro.
Right.
And after I did them, they signed me to a contract. I didn't go to them and say, hey, I'm doing a Flex Pro, would you give me a bunch of money and I'm going to fucking do some videos for you? No, I did all the work and I earned my contract. And then even after I got my contract, there was things in that contract that I had to do or else I would be let go. And the same thing happened at SciTech, and the same thing happened at Muscle Tech. You know, SciTech, we used to fly to Europe. We would stand at a booth for fucking 4 days straight, or 8 hours.
8 hours a day, yeah.
8 or 9 hours a day. Like, I did this shit, so nobody can tell me that they can't do it.
Right.
Like,
yeah, and that's one thing, man. Let me get into it. Like I said, Fuad is an athlete. He done did it. He done did all these things. So he's not asking athletes nothing that's unreasonable. It's just with the social media world now that we live in. How can I put it? Athletes, it's a false sense of reality. I'll put it like that. Athletes feel entitled just because you have a big following, you're a great person, or whatever the case may be. Business is business. You still got to do your obligations, especially when you're getting paid money to do things that's in your contract. That's like saying you're going to work, you're not a 9 to 5 or whatever your job is, but you're not going to do none of your job duties, whether it's doing a check or checking on a patient, whatever your job is. It's like you telling them, hey, I'm not going to do my job today. That's required for you. It's the basic obligations. And as an athlete, who started his own company, you know the things that you can do and things that you can't possibly do. Anything else outside of what your contract entails, that's up to you. So I know with the Justin guy, he has 2 or 3 different other businesses, a gym and everything else like that, family life. And he is well off money wise when it comes to it because he has other avenues. So yes, he technically doesn't need the contract or to be with Hostile, but that's not just saying that he signed with him. So you sign a contract, and I get it. He wasn't happy with it because it is, like Fuad say, it's a lot of obligations. If you got open up a new gym, you got a new business, that's going to take away. For any business to be successful, you got to put the time in. So yes, even though he was with Hostile, now he has other obligations that's going to take priority. So he got to make a choice that's better for him and his family. Hey, I can't fulfill my contract. That's just the bottom line. I got things that I got to do for my family and myself. So I got to put this first. And they had a conversation and talked about it. And he wasn't happy because Fuad has obligations. So it wasn't that how Nick Trigili is making it seem that he's bashing the guys. It's just a contract of interest. Hey, they're not happy with the company. Hostile is one of the best companies out there. Myself, I come from a different range. I don't believe in paying for overpriced products, supplements, or whatever the case. That's just me personally. So it's companies that I gravitate to that has clean products that's reasonable that everybody can afford. I never pay for an intro workout. I'm never going to pay $40, $50 for an intro workout that technically you don't need, only maybe serious bodybuilders or whatever the case, because there's other stuff you can take as an intro workout. And, you know, you're just spending more money, which everybody works hard for your money. But that's me personally. I know it's things that I'm never going to pay for because I didn't come from money. Like I had to work hard for everything that I got. So I still have that mentality about, and that's just one of my pet peeves. I don't believe in overpriced products because I make my own products. I know how much it costs to make it. So I don't want to make a profit. I just want to get people healthy. I want them to understand the science with health and fitness, nutrition. I want you to get stronger, live longer. So that's my goal, is about longevity. But I also know that I want my business to improve. I can make some profit, but I don't believe in scamming my customers pretty much. So, but if you ever looked at Hostile products, they're not really overpriced because they put the max amount of pretty much of dosages on all their products, and you can see the label. And it's expensive. Any products that they made is quality products and stuff like that, but it's not made for average bodybuilders, average athletes. It's this hardcore stuff. So any supplement they have, you can pretty much cut the servings in half. Like some pre-workouts, I got with BSN product, which got some great products and stuff like that. My guy sent me some products, and I had for some of my people who was in my transformation contest. The pre-workout is like 300 milligrams of caffeine. I'm not a big caffeine guy and stuff like that. So one scoop is too much for me. And I think it's only 20 servings. And the price could be $35 to $40, you know, which is average now after the pandemic, everything else kind of went up. But that's really a 40 serving for me because I don't need a whole scoop. 150 with everything else that's in it is good enough for me. So learn how to use supplements to your advantage. Yes, they might be expensive on the end, which personally, if I just see the price, I'm not getting it. But you also got to read the label and see what kind of quality products that you're trying to get into. So I commend Hostile for it. Granted, it's another one. My guy Mad though, his company, before he passed, and I pretty much mimicked him. And I think Hostile, when he started, I kind of already had some of my supplements already out. I just didn't have I did everything pretty much solo. So I didn't have the outlet to go pretty much mainstream like a lot of these other guys. And I was with other companies. So just doing things differently, we all have our own way of doing it. But mainly, I do believe in quality products. I do believe in clean products too. I don't want to have protein with too much extra aminos and this and that. That's why you make amino products, because everybody don't want everything. I just want some clean protein that I can put in a shake. I can do a smoothie and stuff like that. or I can make protein pancakes, you know, whatever the case may be. I don't want to waste extra supplements into certain things. Now, it is a give and take when you do want a all-in-one complex shake, but that's my meal replacement shakes and things like that, that hopefully one day in the future that I also have. But when it comes to these things, man, I'm with Fuad with it. I'm old school. You got to put the work out there, man. You want to be successful. You want to be successful in anything. It don't matter if it's with a company or with your own business. You got to put the time and you got to make the right decision. So I'm with him on that, and I'm with Justin Shear for actually walking away and doing what's right for his family. I think he just signed with a different company who probably going to require less from him, and he has more range to do whatever he needs to do for his business. But the company ain't better than Hostile, but it's just a different take on what he needed at this time.
Because I did it. So I expect the same from my athletes. You know, you have to do this, you have to do that. You know, and some people don't mind it. Samson breezes through his contract like it's fucking nothing. He never complains. He's very thankful. Samson's gotten raise after raise after raise, and we are a very happy family. I don't think he'll ever leave. Justin, I don't know, maybe he kind of wants to do his own thing. He wants to do something a little different. Maybe other companies don't have as many requirements. And that's fine. I don't blame him for wanting to go somewhere else if it's easier. But we are a new company and we're growing. And I do my best to promote my athletes, whether it be through the podcast or anything else, and I expect the same in return.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand that sponsorships are not just you being a model anymore. In the past, even during Muscle Tech days, when they used to sign everybody, you used to be with them, Jay was with them, Phil was with them, and it was a lot of just go do a photo shoot, and then they're going to run ads in Flex Magazine, and there's going to be before and afters, and whatever it was structured. It was just structured differently. Then there was this gray period that's occurred where it was more of the Instagram model. Let me just take a picture with a shaker cup and and make sure I have abs, or I'm pumped up and I'm gonna have a pre-workout next to me. And now you have to go much further because people tune that shit out. And if people are disingenuous, people can tell when people are disingenuous about a brand. And I feel that, you know, when I designed Evogen, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I think you were one of my first guys that had a t-shirt on in Evogen. Yeah, there's an old picture. I think it's from the Flex Pro, right? And
maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I just thought of that just now. And it's one of those things where people who are taking your products and they believe in your system and they believe in what you're putting in it, people are going to tell whether or not you're full of shit and you're just cashing a check or not. And if you don't evolve with that, especially if you've been with a brand for more than a couple of years, you have to evolve with being able to show the journey and being able to create that connection and continue with that connection. And I've had a lot of athletes I've been with for 3, 4, 5, 6 years have been with me. And in some ways, I feel I'm a little bit too soft when it comes to certain things. And I feel like, you know, that's why I let my athlete manager make a lot of the decisions now, because I'm always going to be a little bit more of a like, oh, it's okay, you know, and I'll let that person be able to go ahead and run it the way it's supposed to be run. Because if someone's not doing their obligation, it's like a job. Okay. If Austin doesn't go and post and doesn't do this and do that, there's going to be a problem. Right.
That's right.
There's that, you know, you have a job. This is your job. So,
and this is your job, man. He's a little bit on the nicer side. He doesn't require much because he's a coach also. So he trains these athletes, especially getting ready for a show, which is a whole different mentality going into it. Fuad doesn't coach anybody. He's focused on his podcast, supplements, and his business and things like that. So that's two different perspectives who handling business, even though they're both owning their own business. I'm a coach, but I do also do personal training and things like that. But so I see both sides in it, and I'm probably going to be I'm old school. I'm going to be more like Fuad. I require you to do this and that, but that's the law enforcement background into and military background in my life. So I'm going to be more hardcore. Hey, you got to do it. If you can't do it, just let me know and we'll move on to part ways to do whatever the case may be. But I expect anybody, especially if you're paying them, just to do their job. So that's just my take. Let's see what else Hanny got to say.
Sometimes people go, oh, I just wasn't feeling it or whatever. And once in a blue moon, you and I both know there's going to be times where somebody might go a little dark or go like this. But if it's a consistency is not there in general, and there is a lapse, it's a lapse in performance. And it's about this. It's not just about how somebody does on stage anymore. In the past, it could have been like, okay, this guy wins Olympias or this guy does this, and that's all we care about because we're just doing still images. Now it's consistency in content. Look at Sebum, right? I mean, he's the epitome of that. Whether it's on social media, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on any of those things on those platforms, that it's a holistic thing when it comes to the branding. And I feel that if you don't take it as a job, you're not going to be with one. You're not going to have one very, very long. It's about making sure that you're consistent. So when you look at your contract, and that's just the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. And
that's right.
That's what a lot of people don't understand.
Well, I like this young guy. I don't even know who this young guy is, but he seems to be, I guess, the athlete manager for Hanny Rambaugh's company. So he gets it. He was in it. He's a younger guy. So me, Fuad, and Hanny, we're on the older side. So we get it from that perspective because we got that old mentality about working hard for everything you got. It's a job. You are required to do the X, Y, and Z, but he gets it from both stands, from both perspectives. I mean, because he's a younger guy and he gets it because you didn't have to work for it. Now you're getting gifted, just like he said, because of your physique. You're becoming an influencer because of the way you look, perception, and everything else like that. It don't matter if you're male, female, whatever the case. The women blow up on social media because, hey, they look good, they got a nice physique body, and they know how to make themselves more attractive, sex appeal, and this like that. Sex does sell. We all know this, and image is everything. So they're very knowledgeable about expanding their brand and their reach, and they take off to a whole different level on social media. Guys got a little bit more work to do. If you're not a professional bodybuilder, athlete, you don't speak a certain way, you don't have a niche about you, you don't have nothing that kind of drive people to your following, or catch. It's hard to make a living, or it's hard to get influencers. Myself, I was an actor, athlete, ex-professional athlete, stuff like that. So I had a great circle around me who helped me with social media, which helped my following go up and down. But just like social media, you got to work in it, because I laid off for a while and I dropped plenty of followers just from going dark for a couple of months. So it is a constant thing that you want to get into. But this guy had touched base on a great topic right there, before and after the waves. And it is two different waves of it. So we all are mindful of it as an older guy, older mentality and thought process. Hani is, Fuad is. So we're all in agreement to it, man. We understand it. But we also believe that when you're working for a company, it's your job. Even the young guy, he gets it because he's the athlete manager. He knows what he's expecting from these companies. So he's not playing no game, right? So it's a zero tolerance probably on his end when he get athletes in it. And you rarely hear anything about these Evogen athletes not doing what they got to do and stuff like that. And they also have great editors. So that's a good thing.
Your job, you need to show up 100% of the time and then do 120%. This is not something where it's like I can meet 60% of my obligations. And I did see and also I do attribute some of it to a few major companies, which I won't name, but whenever I was kind of managing contracts back in the day, I would hear from people coming from other companies where they would require like nothing, but people were getting these insane contracts. And so, they made it to where people are like, well, I can get this much money somewhere, and it ruins it for everybody else in a way.
And half those companies aren't even business
anymore. Yep, they are. Yeah, they're not.
That's the fucking problem. So I've heard of a couple other companies which will remain nameless, that basically don't ask anything. You don't have to do any YouTube videos. You don't have to do, I'll just pay you. You just wear our stuff on your Instagram and that's good enough. Look, that might be good enough. It's not good enough for me. So I'm not blaming anybody for not staying with Hostile. I'm the first one to tell you, if you come here, we expect a certain amount of effort because I give a certain amount of effort.
Yeah, and you're giving them your platform, whether it's podcasts, whether it's YouTube. We are both doing that, right?
That's right.
I mean, we have over, how many subscribers do we have on our YouTube, Austin?
Oh, I have to check.
I think it's over 400,000
Yeah, it is.
on YouTube.
Yeah. That's huge.
And doing that, we spent millions of dollars to build up that platform to share with those so that we can help help athletes to kind of build them up. And it needs to be reciprocated because we're also paying you and we're putting you on the platform as well. So therefore, you need to be able to build your own brand. So we can help you, but you need to be able to continuously do that and be able to bring out content. And I think that when you become a certain level of athlete, you need to invest, whether it's a workout partner helping you shoot your videos. A lot of times that happens. Or
no, we pay for the videographers.
Right, we do too, but there's some people that want to do it just kind of like extra, like Derek, he has his videographer that he has as well. But if we need to turn around and get extra stuff, we'll pay either his videographer or bring somebody else out. If we don't want to bring, shoot, our guy out there. But the whole point is that starting out wise, I'm talking about like just starting out, like just before you're even sponsored, being able to do those things and build up your own platforms and get those content going.
All right, as y'all can see now, this is excellent knowledge right here. These are gems that y'all need to be listening to. As you can see right here, Hani just is telling you, if you're trying to be a sponsored athlete, you're trying to be a fitness influencer, you're trying to just grow your social media, you have to invest in your brand. Your brand is yourself. Like myself, I think the same thing. Your brand is yourself. You got to get a videographer. You got to either have your spouse, friend, whoever record content, because you got to put content out there. So it is a learning curve. You got to learn the editing. You got to learn the camera angles. You got to learn the talk, different software. Now, even myself, it's different apps that's coming out there. Now the audio, it's auto audio captions and stuff like that, which is going big. I didn't have all these apps as available. So even myself, I'm still learning. I'm getting better and better. I know the editing part of it from regular videos and stuff like that, but everything is just a work in progress. But these are excellent jewels. You're trying to be it. Make sure you listen to this. Watch this full video in its entirety. The link will be in the description below. But this is episode 83 with the True Podcast with my guy Hani, speaking these gems out there. Let's continue.
Very, very important to be able to get a sponsorship, but then keep and build a sponsorship. And like you said, with Samson, it was your example of saying, okay, now you've done this, you've proven yourself, so therefore we'll pay you more because you're doing more. Instead of saying, I'll do more if you pay me more.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's right. So I think the way it works is this. Back in the day, so when I got signed with Muscle Tech, Muscle Tech probably did more advertising in magazines than any other company on earth.
100%. Like, it would be 100 plus pages of just ads.
Yeah. They would take out like a 10-page section and there would be a number of them in Muscle Mag International, for example. And I think that's how I gained some popularity. So they gave me the platform in the magazines and they did a bunch of ads and they put me all over the place. I see podcasts like ours as the modern day magazine. We are giving a platform for people to find these people and get to know them. So my perspective on it is I'm giving you a platform to be known. We are a new company. You will reciprocate that love. And we also want you to build your own brand, but we have to build our brand at the same time. We're giving you the platform to grow. We're giving you the money that you're asking for. We expect something in return for our company. So I think maybe Hostile asks more than other companies. I don't care because I know what athletes do all day. I know what these guys are doing all day. I know if I'm paying for a videographer, all that guy has to do is show up for his regular workout. He doesn't have to do anything extra. Just show up and do your workout and let this guy film you. That's it. Right. So it's like, I know what people are capable of and what they're not capable of. And if I'm asking too much, then that's fine. If that's the reputation that Hostile gets, I'm okay with that. This is how my company is going to run. I'm not soft on athletes. I totally understand. Like, I don't expect them to travel when they're 6 weeks out from a show, or like, I understand that side of it as well. But there are certain things that I know can and should be done, and I won't kind of change my mind about it. So anyway, long story short, I think, like I said, Justin may have other opportunities that are better for him, that better suited to his lifestyle, and he wanted to get out of his contract. And I'm friends with Justin. I think he's a good person. I think he's funny. We have great conversations, and I don't believe in holding my friend back. Like, I'm not going to start a lawsuit with him and make him abide to his contract if he doesn't want to be part of the team. If he doesn't want to be part of the team, he's a friend. That's also a mistake I make. I become very close with my athletes.
Yeah.
So I always blend that friendship and work thing. And sometimes I wonder if
I think you should do some coaching. I think you should do some coaching so I can kick back and I can just call you a little bit. And
no,
be like you as the coach. How come you never did that? Talk to me about that.
How come I never did coaching?
Yeah.
I did. I coached for a long time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but never seriously. I coached people here and there, and okay. I had some success, and ultimately I just couldn't do it because I don't. Number one, I thought other things were more important, and I didn't want to have the time. And two, I didn't have the patience.
Right. You gotta have a lot of patience.
Like, think about the patience you had with me, and then me trying to have that patience with someone else is never gonna happen.
I should have got.
Like I said, man, everybody can't be a coach. Everybody can't do everything. Like I said, he had different obligations. I just want to touch base real quick on that, man. Share y'all thoughts. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. Like I said before, I don't know what's going on with my guy Nick Trigilli, man. I know he got a new channel. I wish him the best of luck on this bodybuilding, the FH channel that he got. But just looking at that video right there, I didn't think before I said anything wrong about any of these athletes. He told the facts on what he expects from his athletes, the contracts, the business standpoint, his views as a past athlete, what he had to go through, his own personal experience, and he's the owner of his company. So pretty much whatever he says goes. If you own your own company, then whatever you say goes. So it is a job. You have obligations. You can't just show up just because you got a big following, you got this and that. It is a job. You're getting paid to do, and you got a guaranteed contract. So Full Arts contracts is not like other companies. You don't get perks for many other sales. That might be bonuses they might get, but they are getting guaranteed contracts. So that's some things that other companies didn't get. I think I had what for different companies that I was sponsored with, you had kind of quotas, is off sales and stuff like that. You do get perks, and I had a per diem. Like I said, I wasn't a sponsored athlete like most of these other guys because I'm not an IFBB pro, but just as a ex-professional athlete and an influencer and things of that nature, a nutritionist, I did have the ability, and I was blessed with the opportunity to be sponsored by a lot of these great companies out there. And I know the ins and outs of the business. Like I said, I am a business owner. I've been doing what I'm doing in health and nutrition and fitness over 25 years. So this is something that we believe in. This 12 years, plus 13 years now, certified nutritionist. Now we're in this holistic healing. We stay in the running for finals, which is be in Thursday. Is only can be one for this 2023 Mr. Health and Fitness. So continue to vote for your boy, Cut Nice Fitting, man. Share your thoughts, comment below. Let me know what you think about this. And that's it for this clip. I'm going to go ahead and add in the intro and outro with my new phone. Let me know which quality y'all like. I think the light is on here is a little bit messed up, but we're going to do our best. We're trying to speed up more content out there, get y'all acclimated with the new transition, and we're going to get better and better as we go. It's your boy. Hey, with that, we out.